Welcome to our Channel Mind Pop story. Please subscribe and like this video if you're new here. This is the story of Tom and Cherry. Long ago in a village surrounded by apple orchards lived a little boy named Tom. He was an inquisitive boy with reddish-brown hair that stuck out like an explosion in all directions. He had freckles across his nose and cheeks and bright green eyes that twinkled with mischief. Tom loved exploring the world around him. Every day he would set off on grand adventures, discovering new things and making up games based on his imagination. One day while playing in the orchard, Tom noticed a small bird lying on the ground with a broken wing. Feeling sorry for the bird, he carefully picked it up and took it home. Tom's mother helped him nurse the bird back to health. And after a few weeks, its wing healed and it could fly again. The bird was so grateful to Tom for saving its life that before flying away, it gave him a shiny red cherry pit and told him that if he planted it would grow into a tree that bore delicious fruit. Then the bird flew away. Tom was very excited about the cherry pit. He immediately went to his mother, who was a wise woman, and asked her to plant it for him. She took the pit and showed him how to plant it properly in the ground, then covered it with soil and water. "Now we just have to wait," she said, smiling at Tom's eager face. "It may take a long time, but I believe you'll see the results of your patience." Tom understood what his mother meant, but still hoping that the tree would grow quickly, he watered the pit every day. Months passed and spring turned into summer, but still there were no signs of growth. Disappointed, Tom decided to dig up the pit and inspect it. To his surprise, he found that it had disappeared. Tom was puzzled and upset. He couldn't understand why the tree hadn't grown or where the pit had gone. Just then, his mother came over and asked him what was wrong. Tom explained everything to her, showing her the empty hole where he had planted the cherry pit. His mother listened patiently, and when Tom finished, she knelt down beside him and said, "Sometimes, my dear son, things don't happen as quickly as we would like. We need to be patient and let nature take its course." "But I waited so long," Tom protested, "and now the pit is gone." His mother placed a comforting hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, Tom. The tree may be growing in a different way. Let's look around and see if we can find any signs of life." They walked around the area where Tom had planted the cherry pit, and to their surprise, they found a small sapling growing nearby. Its leaves were a beautiful shade of green, and it had tiny cherries growing on it. Overjoyed, Tom ran to his mother and shouted, "Look, it's growing. The cherry tree is growing." Tom's mother was also very happy, and she hugged him tightly. "That's right, Tom," she said. "Your patience and care have paid off. You have to trust the natural process." From that day on, Tom continued to take care of the young cherry tree. He watered it, protected it from pests, and waited for it to grow. Years passed, and the cherry tree grew into a strong, healthy tree that produced delicious fruit. It became one of the most beautiful trees in the orchard and a favorite spot for Tom and his friends to play. One day, while Tom was picking cherries with his friends, one of them asked, "How did you get such a wonderful tree Tom smiled and replied, "It was a gift from a friend who was very grateful for my help, but you can have some cherries if you want." His friends thanked him and started eating the sweet, juicy fruit. As they enjoyed the cherries, Tom's friends asked him to tell them the story of how he saved the bird and received the cherry pit. Tom happily obliged and told them about his adventure with the bird and how his mother taught him about patience and nature. The friends listened attentively to Tom's story, and when he finished, they praised him for his kindness and thoughtfulness. One of the boys said, "You're a true friend, Tom. I'm glad you shared the story with us. It's a great reminder about the importance of helping others." Another boy added, "And it also teaches us to be patient. Sometimes good things take time to grow, but the wait is worth it." Tom beamed with pride. He was happy to share his story, and he felt good knowing that his friends had learned something valuable from it. They continued to pick cherries and chat and laugh together, enjoying the beautiful day and the delicious fruit. As the sun began to set, Tom's friends said goodbye and headed home. Tom watched them go and then turned back to the cherry tree. He reached out and touched the rough bark, feeling a sense of connection to the tree and the bird that had given him the pit. Tom knew that the bird had chosen him to plant the pit because it believed he would take care of it and nurture it into a strong, healthy tree. And he had done just that. The cherry tree was a constant reminder of the birds' trust in him, and Tom was honored to have lived up to that trust. He looked up at the branches of the tree, which were silhouetted against the setting sun, and whispered, "Thank you, little bird, for giving me this wonderful tree and for teaching me about patience and kindness. I will never forget you." The next morning, Tom woke up early and went to the orchard. He had an idea to honor the bird that had given him the cherry pit. He wanted to build a birdhouse and hang it from the cherry tree. So he gathered some wood scraps and nails and set to work. After a few hours, he had built a sturdy little birdhouse with a sloping roof and a small hole for the birds to enter. He painted it a bright blue color and decorated it with some of the leftover cherries. Tom was proud of his handiwork, and he couldn't wait to hang it from the cherry tree. He carried the birdhouse to the tree and looked around for a suitable branch to attach it to. He found a low-hanging branch that was strong and level, and he nailed the birdhouse securely to it. He stood back and admired his work, and then he waited patiently for the first bird to discover the birdhouse. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of any birds using the birdhouse. Tom was disappointed, but he didn't give up. He continued to check on the birdhouse every day, hoping that soon a family of birds would make it their home. One day, Tom was sitting under the cherry tree, eating one of the delicious cherries, when he heard a fluttering sound. He looked up and saw a small bird perched on the edge of the birdhouse. The bird cocked its head and stared at Tom with its beady eyes. Tom held his breath and watched as the bird hopped into the birdhouse. A moment later, another bird arrived and joined the first one inside the birdhouse. Tom's heart soared. He couldn't believe that the birdhouse was finally going to be used. From that day on, Tom continued to visit the birdhouse regularly. He watched with fascination as the birds flew in and out, carrying twigs and other materials to build their nest. He knew that soon the birds would hatch and the birdhouse would be filled with the sound of their chirping. Tom was so happy that his idea had come to fruition. He had created a safe and welcoming home for the birds, and they had chosen to make it their own. He felt a sense of satisfaction and pride knowing that he had done something special for the birds. As the seasons passed, the cherry tree continued to thrive. Its branches were laden with sweet, juicy cherries, and it provided shade for Tom and his friends to play under. The birdhouse remained a busy and important part of the tree, and Tom often sat beneath it, watching the birds go about their daily routines. He knew that the birdhouse was not just a home for the birds, but also a symbol of hope, happiness, and new beginnings. Each spring, when the birds returned to the birdhouse, it was a reminder that life was full of promise and that anything was possible. Tom cherished the birdhouse and the cherry tree, and he continued to take care of them, knowing that they were a testament to the power of friendship, kindness, and patience.